everywhere we look right now, everybody is talking about AI. And there's one phrase that is catching everybody's attention and it's confusing a lot of people, and that is AI automation. So let me ask you this. How much of your day are you spending on boring, repetitive, manual tasks like all the time? Talk about copying data into spreadsheets, posting content, replying to the same emails, and then checking the same reports. Now imagine if all of that can be done automatically. Not just faster, but smarter. And that's the promise of AI automation. And today I'm going to break it down in terms of what it is, how you could use it, how it benefit you, and what is the cost of you not actually using it. So let's start with the first question. What is AI automation? So before we jump right into what AI automation is, we must understand the basic. That is starting from traditional automation. So traditional automation is your conventional procedure automation. It's a rule-based system that follows a fixed instructions to complete repetitive tasks. So basically, it can adapt to change and it can adapt to structured data because it follows a procedure steps. So you say it, if this happens, do that. So it doesn't deviate in doing something else, but rather it follows the same thing, the same routine over and over again, without having to bring in intelligence into it. So usually your tools could be Nathan, Zapier, UPath, but without integrating AI into it. You know what I mean? So you can execute some trigger and then a bunch of actions execute immediately, but none of those actions include AI. Okay? That's the difference between AI automation and then the traditional automation. So in terms of AI automation, it combines traditional automation with artificial intelligence. Instead of just following the rules, it can understand, adapt, and make context-aware decisions. So the real breakthrough came when large language models and modern AI systems could interpret unstructured data, emails, contracts, conversations, videos. So suddenly we could connect old school automations with AI's ability to read and write. So that fusion gave us AI automation as we know it today. Instead of just following rules, it can understand, adapt, and make context-aware decisions. So AI automation is equals to automation tools with AI. Traditional automation, for example, what happens is when a web form is submitted, automatically create a contact in CRM, notifying the sales channel in Slack, and send a thanks email. Okay, so why is traditional? If this, then do that. No reading, no judgment. So tools you could use here is Zapier, Make, and Nathan. And Hotspot, Salesforce plus Slack, and Gmail or Outlook. So basically, there is no AI involved. So that's the difference. No AI involved. While in AI automation, we do have AI involved. So for example, we have a Telegram assistant. So as you can see, it's rules plus intelligence. So we have Telegram assistant. So what happens is that when you send a voice note to your Telegram assistant saying something like, send an email to James saying I booked a meeting for Tuesday at 2 p.m. or schedule a call with Sarah next Friday or remind me to follow up in 3 days. Okay. So your assistant, your AI in this context within the automation understands the intent, drafts the email, books the calendar event, and sets reminders, then confirms back to you. Okay, if you want to see this real agent or this real AI automation in action, I have previously uploaded a video showcasing that system, so you could go and check it out yourself. So in this context, why is it AI? So it's AI because the AI inside the automation interprets your natural language, extracts names, dates, and intent, and chooses the right action. So in this context, the tools could be used here, or what I've used is Telegram Part API, Make, I used Make, OpenAI's API, that's using OpenAI is one of OpenAI's models, then Gmail API, Google Calendar API, and then Airtable for logs. So basically, traditional automation, no AI involved. in AI automation, AI is involved. So you might be wondering, okay, who's AI automation for? Basically, it's for everyone. So for individuals, it means freeing up hours each week from emails, scheduling, and reports. It doesn't replace your creativity, your strategy, or your decision making. It removes the noise so that you can focus on what matters. And then the cost of not adopting it means falling behind peers who are suddenly moving faster, learning more, creating more, and working less stressed. Okay, now for businesses, it means it comes down to time, money, and focus. So every repetitive process, support, reporting, HR, finance, costs labor, right? So if onboarding is 10 hours a week at 25 per hour, that is exactly 13,000 a year. AI automation saves 60% of that, 7,000 back in your pocket annually. Then multiply that across dozens of workflows, and you see why companies that adopt AI automation are scaling faster and are running linear. Streamline operations, reduce cost, and scale without adding headcount. If you use a computer for work, there is a way AI automation could help you. In short, it's for everything that is repetitive, that still requires writing, reading, and decision making. So the benefits are huge. Talk about efficiency and time. It takes repetitive, time-draining tasks off your plate, and then accuracy, fewer human errors, then more consistency, then talk about smart decisions, better experience for your customers, and then focus, frees up your brain for high-value, creative, and strategic work that can actually move you forward. And then, scaling operations and reducing costs. The benefits are huge. Okay, so now question is, how can you build it, right? There are tools that you could use, and these fall into two categories. Think of RPA, that is robotic process automation. Tools like UPath automate anywhere. They mimic human clicks and typing and are great for legacy apps and apps that don't have, API access. And then workflow automation, you can think of tools like Zapier, Make, and Nathan. They connect apps together through APIs. And these tools that I'm giving you right now is low to no code tools. And recently, this actually falls under traditional automation. But right now, most of these tools have implemented or deployed agents inside. So now they could fall under AI automation because now they have AI implemented or deployed inside them. So these tools I'm giving you right now are low code to no code tools. And right now, everybody could just jump right in and build some kind of a simple automation just by following YouTube tutorials. But if you want more advanced and hands-on coding, then you could go and build your own automation systems. So examples of automation that you could build or you have built are personalized call outreach, lead qualification system, financial analyst assistance, and then content repurposing automations. That is one of the automations I built for a big YouTuber with millions of subscribers on YouTube. And then search intent scraping system, automatic invoice collection, right? So what is the risk of not using it? Now that is the question. What is the risk of not using it? Now the risk is simple: inefficiency. And in today's world, inefficiency basically means falling behind, right? So while your competitors are reducing costs, speeding up delivery, and scaling their output, you are still paying for manual work, right? So it's really like showing up on a race on foot while everybody is driving cars. Yes, you can still run, but you want to win. And we all want to win, right? Everybody wants to win. Nobody wants to be a loser here, right? So in other words, if you don't adapt, you fall behind. Okay, that's the harsh truth, right? Now, AI automation isn't perfect yet, right? It makes mistakes. AI can misclassify or hallucinate. That's why human in the loop is important. In terms of security, automation connects different systems. If not built carefully, it can increase the surface area for cyber attacks. That's why secure design, data privacy, strict access controls are non-negotiable. When implemented responsibly, AI automation increases business value, but it has to be deployed with safety in mind, because AI automation increases your digital footprint. So it's important to always develop and deploy AI automation with security in mind. So to wrap up, AI automation is basically traditional automation, but with AI implemented or deployed within those systems or within that automation. So in simple terms, AI automation is really valuable for both businesses and individuals because it gives them back their time. Businesses reduce costs while scaling, and the cost of not using AI automation is inefficiency, which in today's world means falling behind. So if you could take one thing from this video, let it be this. AI automation isn't about technology for technology's sake. It's about the outcome in terms of money, focus, growth, and time. If you are just starting out, the best step isn't to ask which tool should I use. Instead, you should ask where am I wasting the most time every week, and what would my life look like if that ran on autopilot. So that's it for today. I hope this video gave you a clear interpretation of what AI automation is and why it matters. If you made it this far, you are a real one. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, and subscribe so that more people can learn about AI automation. I appreciate you being here, and I will catch you in the next one.